It was a night of drama and suspense in Philadelphia as Chelsea edged Palmeiras 2-1 to reach the semifinals of the Club World Cup. From the first whistle, it felt like a razor-edge contest. Chelsea dominated early, forcing save after save, and finally broke through on 16 minutes when Cole Palmer, ever creative spark, twisted away from his marker and calmly slotted home. That strike gave the Blues a slender 1-0 lead going into break, after which Palmeiras roared back. The Brazilians, energized by teenager Estêvão, kept knocking on the door, and knock it did. Midway through the second half, Estêvão, Liverpool's incoming gem, beat his man on the wing and unleashed a sensational near-post shot from a tight angle, equalizing in a flash of brilliance. It was a reminder that Palmeiras were no mugs. In the end, fortune smiled Chelsea's way. A short corner to the left led to Malo Gusto's cross, which took a wicked deflection off a Palmeiras defender and wrong-footed goalkeeper Weverton, trickling in as an own goal at 83 minutes. In truth, Chelsea largely deserved the win. The Blues had stormed the shot stats, 19-7 in total, 6-2 on target, and controlled the ball all night, cruising into the semis with a stroke of luck. Chelsea's winner was a fortunate thing from a mis-hit cross by Gusto, but controlled it they did. After that fluke goal, the visitors did little wrong, keeping Palmeiras at bay to hang on. By final whistle, the scoreboard showed Chelsea 2, Palmeiras 1, and Chelsea's hearts racing with relief. Both sides produced top moments. Palmeiras threatened throughout, especially through Estêvão, whose equalizer left fans gasping. Defensively, Chelsea stood firm for most of the night and went from strength to strength when Noni Madueke came off the bench. Chelsea only got better when Madueke entered the fray. That substitution clearly shifted the momentum back in Chelsea's favor. In midfield, both managers fought a tug-of-war. Chelsea's pair, Andrey Santos and Fernández, largely closed out Palmeiras' creative outlets, while Reece James and Gusto on the flanks matched up well against Facundo Torres and Estêvão. Abundant yellow cards in midfield, most costly being Levi Colwill's caution at 87, hinted that neither side easily ceded ground. Crucial turning points abound. The opening goal from Palmer gave Chelsea belief, but Palmeiras never folded. Estevão's thunderbolt turned the match on its head and briefly made the Blues look shaky. After that goal, Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca reacted smartly. He introduced Madueke and also new striker João Pedro, adding fresh legs immediately afterwards. Both substitutes almost snatched late goals. Madueke in particular gave the Palmeiras defense fits in stoppage time. Meanwhile, Palmeiras coach Abel Ferreira may regret not shoring up his defense after Estevão's goal. His side pressed hard, but simply didn't create a clear second chance and looked a step slow as Chelsea held out. In the dying minutes, Palmer nearly killed the game on the counter, but his final touch went astray at the last. Still, tactical tweaks after Estevão's strike, bringing on pace and vision, ultimately saved Chelsea from that final turnaround. Chelsea's overall showing. The Blues were the architects of their own destiny for long stretches. They peppered the Palmeiras goal with shots and kept possession comfortably most of the match. Everyone expected some rough patches, especially after going ahead, but credit the team's structure for not panicking. Defensively, they stayed compact, aside from that scramble on Estevão's goal. And even after conceding the equalizer, they calmly regained control. Coach Enzo Maresca's side often looked a more cohesive unit in the final minutes. It helped that Chelsea's key players stepped up. After Palmeiras' leveler, Chelsea largely controlled play, cruising into the semifinal. Cole Palmer blew heart. Palmer was decisive. His 16th-minute goal was pure class, rolling his man and smashing home, and it was a catalyst for Chelsea's early dominance. He constantly tested the Palmeiras' defense. At one point late on was so furious to have been flagged offside after a clever run that he nearly burst a lung sprinting back to the referee. That moment showed Palmer's passion, but also a lapse of patience. In general, he was calm and creative in the first half, but he didn't quite replicate that spark after intermission. As the game wore on, Palmer's direct impact faded a touch. He was kept busier in a deeper role, and maybe should have made more of his box presence. His most notable touch late on was a rather weak free kick that sailed into the wall. So, Performance-wise, a good night for Palmer. He delivered a goal and plenty of chances, Blue Heart. But there's room to be even sharper under pressure. A second half that started brightly tailed off slightly as fatigue set in. Looking ahead, Chelsea will need Palmer to consistently perform like this if they're to meet those lofty valuation expectations. Noni Madueke Greenheart. Madueke was a perfect impact sub. The moment he replaced Luka Koleosho on the right wing, you could see Chelsea's attack sharpen. He immediately took on defenders and drew multiple fouls, causing Palmeiras plenty of trouble late on. Madueke's willingness to run at fullbacks helped stretch the Brazilian defense. His best moment came in stoppage time after a quick 1-2 with Luis Sinisterra, when he danced around Jiri and unleashed a shot that beat Weverton but narrowly clipped the post. If it had gone in, it would have been a dagger. Although he didn't record an assist or a goal, his energy was palpable. Contrast this to his form in the Premier League, where he's been inconsistent. Tonight, he was lively and hungry. We give him a Greenheart, for an excellent cameo. The questions now are consistency and decision-making. Performances like tonight suggest Chelsea are getting their money's worth as he grows into his role. Malo Gusto Greenheart. Gusto was the unsung hero of the night. Defensively, he held the flank well, engaging in frantic 50-50 duels. He even picked up a tactical yellow card late in the first half, 41-foot, when he caught Palmeiras' Michael in a fair but late challenge. Up front, he almost went unseen, except for the blockbuster winner he engineered. His cross in the 83rd minute was Mizit, but it spun in just the right way to kiss off a defender's outstretched toe and wriggle past Weverton. That crucial cross, the luckiest of assists, handed Chelsea the lead. Prior to that, Gusto was steady if unspectacular, but landing the winning ball, even by accident, earns him a top mark. Improvement area, decision-making and attack. Pick the right options on whether to cross, dribble, or cut inside. Otherwise, a very good outing, Greenheart. Pedro Neto Blueheart. Neto's backstory added real poignancy tonight. He arrived in the U.S. still mourning his Liverpool teammate Diogo Jota, tragically killed just days earlier in a car accident. Incredibly, Neto chose to play, showing mental fortitude beyond words. In the first half, he tracked back frequently and provided width on the left. He wasn't the highlight reel. His focus was on team solidity. He helped Chelsea control possession on that side and never shirk a tackle. He didn't score or assist, but his presence steadied the left flank. We mark him with a Blue Heart. A good performance, especially given the emotional weight he carried. Workmanlike rather than dazzling. If he keeps showing that resilience, he could become the reliability Maresca wants on the wing. Levi Colwill Redheart. Colwill's night was a mixed bag, but that caution at the end is hard to ignore. He was solid in the first half, matching up physically and reading Esteveo's runs well. However, that split-second mistake for Esteveo's goal in the 53rd was costly. The teenager danced past Colwill in the box and smashed in his shot. Colwill is blamed for not closing the post harder. Then, in the 87th minute, Levi got booked for dissent, which means he'll sit out the semis. 2 errors. One led directly to a goal. The other led to suspension. We have to give him a red heart for poor judgment at crucial times. To his credit, at times Cole will read passes well and snuff many Palmeiras attacks early on. But he must improve his discipline, both tactically and emotionally. Performance dips into needs work territory. Enzo Fernández Blueheart. Enzo was at the heart of Chelsea's midfield engine, a metronome and pressure valve when things got tight. He was composed in possession, constantly dropping deep to dictate tempo, and frequently orchestrated play from the base. What stood out was his defensive awareness, intercepting passes and snuffing out Palmeiras counters before they got dangerous. Though he didn't create any big chances, his control allowed others, like Palmer, to roam more freely. That kind of tactical discipline often goes unnoticed, but it's essential. Solid, smart, and always scanning. A blue heart for a quietly dominant display. Andrey Santos Blueheart. Back on familiar ground against the Brazilian side, Santos looked eager to impress. He was more aggressive than Enzo, pressing high, biting into tackles, and showing flashes of the box-to-box midfielder Chelsea hope he becomes. He also tracked back well during Palmeiras' best spells and showed surprise and maturity when faced with the silky footwork of Estêvão. There were a few moments where his passes could have been sharp in transition, but overall, he did the dirty work well. Good outing, Blue Heart. Robert Sánchez, Blue Heart. The Chelsea keeper had a relatively quiet evening in terms of shot stopping. Palmeiras only registered 2 on target, but his concentration and distribution were sharp. He claimed crosses confidently and made a key stop late on when a Palmeiras striker attempted a cheeky flick inside the 6-yard box. His best moment came just before halftime, when he came off his line quickly to smother a dangerous through ball. He may not have had a world-class save to highlight, but his reliability was clear. Good goalkeeping under pressure, Blue Heart. João Pedro Coração Azul. Coming on as a sub, Pedro didn't score, but made a noticeable difference. His hold-up play was solid, and he linked well with Maresca late on. He peeled off defenders, made space, and almost found a net with a header from a gusto cross. He brought energy, strength, and a point of reference in attack, something Chelsea's front line had lacked after Jackson's muted performance. Impactful cameo, Blue Heart. João Pedro's debut, what it means for Chelsea. João Pedro's unofficial debut couldn't have come at a more revealing time. While he didn't get on the score sheet, his ability to occupy defenders, absorb pressure, and link play was a glimpse into what Chelsea may have been missing: a mobile, physically strong, intelligent forward who doesn't need to score to impact a game. His presence alone created more space for Palmer and Maresca. He looked tactically aware, sharp in his movements, and eager to contribute to build-up. Traits Chelsea fans haven't consistently seen from their strikers lately. If this is the baseline of his ability, then the potential for him to grow into a reliable rotational or even starting option is very real. For a first outing, João Pedro gave Chelsea something to think about. The Brazilian connection with Santos, scary good future brewing at Stamford Bridge. Estêvão Willian, Palmeiras, Greenheart. What a performance. Just 17, but already carrying Palmeiras on his back. His equalizer was a work of art. Receiving the ball wide, gliding past Colwell with sharp inside cut, and then unleashing a laser-guided rocket at the near post. The angle was tight, the defenders closing, but he showed no hesitation. Just pure instinct, technique, and confidence. What made the goal even more impressive was the context. Palmeiras were under pressure, and Estêvão flipped momentum with a single action. It wasn't just a goal, though. His ball control, feints, and ability to glide through tight spaces were mesmerizing. Despite being one of the youngest on the pitch, he was Palmeiras' biggest threat. Time and again, Chelsea defenders struggled to read him. His football IQ and spatial awareness are far beyond his years. He wasn't just good, he was electric. Greenheart. Looking ahead, the semi-final challenge awaits. This hard-fought win over Palmeiras might go down as more than just a friendly result. It was a test of depth, character, and the rising synergy among Chelsea's young stars. With Palmer back among the goals, João Pedro showing flashes, and the midfield pairing of Enzo and Santos holding firm, there's a sense of quiet optimism building. The semifinals now loom large. Stronger opponents await, tactically sharper, physically demanding, and less forgiving. But Chelsea will head in with confidence, not just because of the result, but because of what the performance revealed. This isn't just a squad. It's a project taking shape, a future being forged, and perhaps, just perhaps, Estêvão's glimpse of brilliance was a sign of what's to come in the blue of Chelsea.